Good morning, and thank you for being here. I'm Summer Stephan, San Diego County's District Attorney, and I'm joined by these incredible leaders that you're going to hear from shortly. Today, we're proud and excited to announce a regional launch of the Shelter Ready app. This is a groundbreaking regional solution for homelessness. It's an innovative mobile app designed to connect people experiencing homelessness with emergency shelter in real time. Shelter Ready is a first of its kind for our region, and it appears to be a first of its kind for our state and for our nation. What it accomplishes by design is a transparent, accountable, and efficient solution to find emergency shelter. It's a powerful and yet practical solution that reflects our core belief that homelessness is not just a public safety issue, it's also a public health and a humanitarian crisis. It demands urgent, coordinated, and compassionate action. Shelter Ready is about removing barriers. It allows outreach workers and other frontline professionals to instantly locate potential available shelter beds across San Diego County and be able to refer individuals based on their specific needs. This means help can be delivered at the exact moment it's needed, not days or months later, without confusion, delay, red tape, and at times miscommunication and a lack of transparency that stands in the way. Simply put, no more matching a disabled person in a wheelchair with an upper bunk in a shelter, because that is not a solution. It's simple, efficient, and can be life-saving. In the past, many frontline workers would have to call shelters separately, one by one, to find space. They were also expected to know the particular requirements for each shelter, the criteria, and this became really cumbersome. Shelter Ready addresses those issues in a clear, concise way, connecting people with shelter in minutes, when in the past it may have taken days. While there may be some digital homeless shelter solutions out there, we believe it may be the only app of its kind in the nation. The regional expansion of this app fulfills a key goal that I set out in the 3-point plan to address the intersection of homelessness, behavioral health, addiction, and the criminal justice system. Why is that? I don't think I need to tell anybody that in order to actually receive healing treatment for mental health or addiction, it's impossible to do it while someone is on the street suffering. They need a safe place before the next phase of compassionate treatment can begin. We introduced this plan in 2022, and we have been hard at work to fulfill that promise. One of the central pillars of this strategy was to harness technology to improve outcomes for vulnerable populations. This is something that we know a thing or two about. As you may know, San Diego County's District Attorney's Office, while we ethically prosecute crime, we are the largest provider of victim services in the county. And because of that experience of dealing with the most vulnerable victims of domestic violence and human trafficking, child abuse, we have had to learn and leverage our partners and technology. We were able to use this for 5 years to shelter victims of crime efficiently, bringing down the time from 10 days to 8 minutes with an 80% match, thus allowing the workers, the heart of this job, the victim service advocates and community members, to be able to focus on the 20% for whom the solutions were difficult. We asked the same ethical nonprofit technology company to do something similar for homelessness in general. Because after all, there is not that much difference. If you visited, if you've talked to folks who are homeless, many of them share the same experience of childhood trauma, abuse, and so the intersection between what we did with the Safe Shelter Collaborative and what we are doing with Shelter Ready today is there very strongly and tells us that we're pointed in the right direction. This isn't about statistics, this is about real people who deserve safety, stability, and dignity. With Shelter Ready, we're offering a tangible way to break the cycle. We're saying your life matters and help is available right now, not later. This app wasn't created in a vacuum. It was built specifically by the users, for the users. And that is what distinguishes it. It wasn't built by just the managers, but by the people, the outreach workers on the street. And with their input, it was solidified to expand today regionally. It was piloted in North County for about 9 months, refined with feedback, and we're so thankful for the participants because it's always harder to be the first to use something new. Change is hard, and I'll never forget the courage and the heart of the partners like Rescue Mission that came along for this. This launch is also part of a larger long-term commitment to keep improving the intersection of behavioral health with public safety, with humanitarian aid, with being able to really help people. The most recent point and count we know is just a snapshot in time, but it still offers a number that we don't want to see of 10,000 people. We know that's a minimum number. Today, I call on every city and every unincorporated area and every nonprofit organization serving unsheltered individuals to consider adopting this app, to consider changing old ways and opening the light to come in so that we're all regionally using something that will also help us feed into a data lake that will inform our investments. This will tell us what sort of individual did we fail to be able to shelter? What do we need to build? How do we use the limited resources in a smart manner? I want to thank the community members that came along. I couldn't have done this without the county's support. All supervisors have supported this in a time of division. There is agreement that this solution is needed. Dr. Jardina, who's here also with me representing the county, we have worked together on many hard solutions, and this is one of them. Tamara Kohler, here also representing and CEO of the Regional Task Force on the Homeless, has been with us through this whole journey and is here today. Everybody who's walked with us has been patient and is here today with us. One of the valued partners, like I said, who took the leap to be a beta tester is the North County Lighthouse, which is part of the San Diego Rescue Mission. They've been using this app successfully for about 9 months. The San Diego Rescue Mission CEO, Donnie D, and the Lighthouse Director, who's here, Brian Wilson. And Donnie D, if you would talk a little bit more about this.
Well, I want to say congratulations to the district attorney and her office and to the developers of the app for creating what will be an incredible tool. We've been looking forward to this for some time. We've known about this since 2023, but they finally got it done. And I just want to say congratulations. There's a lot of ideas, but sometimes those ideas don't become a reality because of the work that's required. And I really commend her office for having conversations with people on the front lines around what they really need. Sometimes it's easy in leadership to make decisions at City Hall or even at my office that we think are going to have an impact that really the people on the front lines aren't as impacted as we'd like for them to be. And so when they took the time to meet with Brian Wilson, our director at the North County Lighthouse, and when they took the time to talk to outreach workers, the ones that will actually be using this app, I think that was a game changer. And this app has the potential to be a game changer. Look at it as you would if you booked a hotel room. Well, you kind of know what you're looking for, depending upon your family and where you're traveling to and how much you can spend, and you get a hotel room based on that. Well, this is a little bit like that people living on the streets have certain needs, and now our outreach workers can align those needs with the type of shelter that's required. That is a game changer. We know as an organization that we can have short-term shelters, we can have long-term shelters, but it all starts with outreach. And when our outreach workers find somebody that wants to get inside, then they start dialing for beds. And that's not an effective way to get somebody who's currently motivated and might be unmotivated in 5 minutes. That's not a great way to help that person. And so now, because our outreach workers are going to have access to the Shelter Ready app, where they'll know where the beds are, they can connect that person that is now motivated to the bed, transport them to that shelter, and get them the help they need to eliminate their homelessness. And so, game changer, I think, for the homeless crisis that we have throughout our county. And we're sure looking forward to putting it to work and helping more people get off the streets. And again, congratulations to the DA.
Thank you, Donnie, very much. This app was developed in cooperation with a nonprofit organization called TechSoup, and a section of it, Caravan Studios. And this is the same company, the nonprofit, that develops solutions for many big problems in the United States, including the Safe Shelter Collaborative that's been in operation for 5 years that has sheltered crime victims. But first, before I introduce them, I want to call on Tamara Kohler, the Regional Task Force on Homelessness CEO and President, to share with you her participation, her view, and also want to thank her publicly for standing with us and staying with this journey, because her organization is very, very important as part of the solution. And for her to adopt and embrace another solution, it really shows what she's about. Tamara.
Well, I'm honored to be here. When Summer talked to me about this, when you were putting out your first report, one of the things that I have learned being in San Diego in the county is that Summer and I share a very deep and significant commitment to care for vulnerable people. And I think the intersection of this work has always been about connecting people to the services they need when they need them. In a very large county with a large unsheltered population, the commitment to think about how we do it differently, better, and coordinated is at the core of this app. The ability for our outreach teams, as Donnie D shared, to be able to know when someone is asking for services, what services are available throughout the region. We have a lot of new folks who join us in this work, and one of the hardest things is to learn all of the providers. What do they do? What do they offer? What's available? How many beds, where, and when? That's a lot to try and just keep maybe on a notepad or in your phone. This app takes technology to the next level. And what it does at its core is allow us to care for a vulnerable population at the moment that they need it, in a way that gets them to the resources that will provide them the care, the support, and the journey back to safety. So I am honored and always lockstep with the DA, with the county, and with our providers, because we share the same commitment. We want to see more people sheltered. We want to see more people cared for. We want to see more people's journey into homelessness in quickly, effectively, and to get them back to the safety and care, housing and supports, and recovery from homelessness that happens every single day. So today I'm really honored to be a part of this launch. It's been fun and exciting to be behind the scenes to see the testing, the continued sort of feedback loop that the DEA and TechSoup and with the rescue mission testing it, being willing to make real change in real time. I think that's something that rarely happens in this work. Usually it gets rolled out and then we try and figure out what's next. So I think today is really a launching point for all of us to be able to get to solutions quicker. And that is a shared commitment and goal for all of us. So again, I encourage all of our partners to really take a significant look at this. If you're an outreach worker, this will be the tool in your toolbox to know who's out there, what they have, and what they offer. And it's important that we keep all of this information up to date. So as your programs are changing and you get new programs and funding, make sure that we're getting all of this information up to date so it's real time. So thank you.
I love that, the tool in your toolbox. This is, we're gonna have to call Home Depot and see if they want this. Also with us today is Dr. Kimberly Jardina. She is the Health and Human Services Deputy CEO who oversees the county's Department of Homeless Solutions and a longtime partner in protecting vulnerable populations and children especially. Dr. Jardina.
Well, good morning, and thank you so much, District Attorney Stephan, for bringing all of us here today. Addressing homelessness requires many hands and many partnerships. Through our collective efforts as a region, we are starting to make some progress. This includes reducing the number of people sleeping unsheltered on sidewalks and in their vehicles by 7% over the course of a year. In the unincorporated areas where the County of San Diego is most focused and has a responsibility for shelter and outreach, we've seen an even bigger decrease, a reduction of 11%. These are promising results, but a lot of work remains. At its core, the solution to homelessness is housing. If we could house everyone today, I think we would all do that in a heartbeat. But we know that despite investments from all sectors, that is not yet the reality. What we do have across the region is a wide range of services. These include outreach, shelter options, and short and long-term housing, all designed to prevent and end homelessness. The County Board of Supervisors adopted a plan called Compassionate Emergency Housing Solutions and Pathways to Housing. The plan aims to establish housing options that fit every person experiencing homelessness within the 2.3 million acres of the unincorporated county. We are getting closer to that goal each day through new safe parking sites, sleeping cabins, and the Regional Homeless Assistance Program with participating hotels and motels. While not your typical emergency shelters that allow walk-ins, they have been effective, focused solutions that also allow for wraparound services. We are constantly refining these programs and helping people move on to more permanent, stable housing solutions. We also have staff on the ground every day in riverbeds and overpasses and resource fairs, sometimes in partnership with the Sheriff's Heart team, connecting people to these resources. The work our outreach workers do is not easy. It can take 3, 8, maybe 10 interactions with someone in an encampment before they are ready to leave their environment and get on a path to housing. So when that person experiencing homelessness is ready, being able to connect them to resources quickly is critical. We know the faster we can get someone connected to shelter and housing resources, the better it is for everyone. Technology plays an important role in making this process more efficient and easier for everyone involved. We look forward to working with the district attorney and other providers to maximize transparency and connections to available resources. So I want to thank the district attorney's office and all the partners who have been part of the pilot in North County. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jardina. Thank you. So like I said, we partnered with a nonprofit organization called Caravan Studios, which is a division of TechSoup. I want to thank Sarah Washburn. She's been with this process for 3 years, listening, meeting with the people on the ground and really giving this a voice. And Sarah Washburn will be providing a demo today at the symposium on how the app works. And she's here today. I'd like her to say a few words, but also with her partner, Steve Lee. Steve Lee is the one who is kind of the head of the actual techie part of it, and we thank him very much. But Sarah.
Hi everyone. As the person who is representing the tech side of this, I just want to say first off that the real story isn't about the technology. It's really about the people who contributed to this app, which number over 100 people before we even began developing the actual technology. Because at TechSoup, the nonprofit that I work for, we're deeply committed to a participatory design process. And that is vastly different from any tech firm that you will ever meet. And that's why we don't work for a tech firm, we work for a nonprofit that's mission focused, just like the organizations that we have been collaborating with for several years now. And what that means is that before we even began thinking about what technology might look like, we were listening. We were bringing people together, finding out how they do their jobs, understanding what's working really well and where the challenges are. And that helped us get smarter and get stronger together so that we could develop and design a technology that's actually addressing the issues that folks are facing who are trying to help the most vulnerable. And that means we talk with people who are out in the streets, helping people who are unhoused behind desks in their cars. We talk to people at safe parking lots, to hot teams, law enforcement, anybody who is touching and trying to help folks who are in desperate need of emergency shelter. And so I think everybody here has talked a little bit about how Shelter Ready works, and it's true that it finds where available shelter that is matched with your client where it's available now. But what it also does is that it finds where there isn't shelter. Meaning sometimes folks are trying to find shelter and they're spending just as much time, those outreach people are spending just as much time trying to find shelter and then finding out there aren't any beds. And what this technology will do on both sides is both find what's available and also give you a quick no. And a quick no is an important part of providing a resource because you can spend more time helping those who need it with available resources. So I'm really excited. I'm so invigorated by all of the people behind me and all of the stories I've heard thus far. And we're just so excited to show you Shelter Ready in probably about an hour or so. So thank you so much. Thank you, Summer. There you are. Thank you, Summer and Rachel and your team. It's been such a pleasure working with you all.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much. So this, of course, takes a team, and I want to acknowledge Rachel Soloff, Chief Deputy District Attorney, who's been the lead working on this on a daily basis with all of the partners. If you have any questions, we're going to have a news release also that's going to have some B-roll that hopefully will help you tell the story. Your role as media is very important because this is something groundbreaking for San Diego. And I think we all need a little hope in a solution that is going to work now and not in 10 years. So I'm very excited about and thankful for your participation today.